Is ABC done with Golden Bachelor after disaster ratings? October 17th, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans, Mel Owens isn't winning the hearts of viewers as the Golden Bachelor. The ratings are in a steep decline, especially compared to Jerry Turner's season. Is ABC ready to cancel the senior spinoff after the season? The Golden Bachelor not bringing in ratings. Bachelor Nation fans were so excited for the show to finally shine a spotlight on finding love later in life. Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor was a ratings hit. The first episode drew in over 4 million viewers. The ratings consistently stayed high throughout the season. His TV wedding to Teresa Nist brought in an audience of over 6 million. Teresa and Jerry's wedding bliss only lasted a few months before they split. The backlash to the divorce sparked concerns that ABC would pass on a second season of The Golden Bachelor. A season of The Golden Bachelorette aired last fall instead, but The Golden Bachelor wasn't over just yet. They chose former NFL player Mel Owens to headline the second season, but that seemed to be a huge mistake, and it shows in the ratings. The season premiere of the second season brought in half of the viewers that Jerry Turner did. A lot of Bachelor Nation fans weren't happy with Mel's comments earlier this summer about wanting to date women between the ages of 45 and 60, despite being 66 years old himself. ABC regrets choosing Mel Owens. There were reports this summer that Mel Owens was fired after his distasteful comments, but that turned out to be false. ABC went full speed ahead with him as the Golden Bachelor, and now it's biting them in the behind. A source close to the show told the U.S. Sun that ABC regrets keeping Mel. He wasn't the right pick, and they see that now but didn't see it until it was too late. The Golden Bachelor season is almost over already. Mel and his final women are heading into hometown dates, followed by the fantasy suite dates. ABC is reportedly considering canceling the show after the season is over. Fans say, "I told you so." ABC may not have known that choosing the Detroit, Michigan native was a bad choice, but fans did. They took to social media to relish in the network finally admitting their mistake. Maybe they should have cast someone with an ounce of charisma or recast him when he said he didn't want to date women in that age range. Mel is so boring. It should have been Charles. ABC did us a real disservice by not giving us Charles. Trash lead gets trash ratings. I'm one of the people who 100% would have watched if they'd picked a good guy from The Golden Bachelorette, but had no interest in watching this dude. They had all the time to replace him before they started filming. They knew we wouldn't like him based on things he said. We told them plenty before it was too late, and they chose not to listen when we said we wouldn't watch that misogynistic, ageist pig. Maybe it is time to call it quits. Mel's season of The Golden Bachelor will continue to the bitter end. One of his rejected contestants, Nicole Kate Briscoe, is already lobbying to be the next Golden Bachelorette. But will ABC even continue with the spinoff? Let us know your thoughts on Mel's season in reality TV is ruthless. One week, you're the crown jewel of primetime entertainment, and the next, you're a cautionary tale discussed in hushed tones over coffee tables and social media threads. ABC's Golden Bachelor, the network's highly anticipated spin on the beloved Bachelor franchise, seemed poised to captivate audiences in ways never seen before. But as the final numbers rolled in, executives, fans, and contestants alike were left asking the same question: is ABC done with Golden Bachelor after disaster ratings? The hype that was. When Golden Bachelor was first announced, it felt like a cultural event. Mel Owens, a charming, charismatic 72-year-old with a twinkle in his eye and decades of romantic experience, was touted as the perfect protagonist to reinvigorate the aging franchise. The marketing was relentless. Billboards across Times Square, interviews on every morning show, and teasers showcasing Mel's witty humor and heartfelt moments with contestants. The social media buzz alone suggested that a fresh generation, eager to see love in its golden years, was ready to tune in. Industry insiders whispered about ABC's strategic gamble. The network was betting that nostalgia, combined with the novelty of a senior lead, would attract both longtime fans of The Bachelor and a younger demographic curious to see the unconventional twist. Yet, as the opening night rolled around, there were subtle signs that the dream might not translate to reality. Numbers don't lie. The premiere episode pulled in 5.1 million viewers, respectable but a far cry from the 7 to 8 million that earlier spin-offs consistently hit. More troubling were the subsequent weeks. Ratings dipped steadily, with the third episode barely scraping 3.8 million. The downward trend was mirrored on streaming platforms, where catch-up views failed to make up for the lost broadcast audience. Media analysts pointed fingers at several factors. Some cited the show's pacing. "The editing feels slow," noted one television critic, and the producers seem unsure whether to highlight romance, humor, or personal stories. Others pointed to the audience's perception. While Mel was undeniably charming, the show's premise, older singles navigating love on camera, didn't resonate with the core demographic of reality dating shows. ABC, known for fiercely defending its programming, reportedly convened multiple emergency meetings. Executives pored over audience analytics, social media sentiment, and streaming data. The message was clear. The Golden Bachelor experiment was teetering on the edge. Behind the scenes, tensions rose. While ratings numbers are impersonal, the atmosphere on set was anything but. Sources close to production revealed that contestants felt the pressure from day one. Everyone was aware the cameras were rolling, but there was an added sense of desperation. It was like we were performing not just for Mel, but for ABC itself. Producers, meanwhile, were scrambling to make the show more engaging. Ideas ranged from extreme makeover dates to surprise celebrity guests, but nothing seemed to reverse the rating slump. Even the infamous Fantasy Suite episodes, which traditionally drive buzz, failed to ignite the expected conversation. Mel Owens, for his part, remained the consummate professional. Friends described him as graceful under pressure and someone who genuinely wanted the contestants to find happiness. But off-camera, even he reportedly questioned whether the public was ready for a senior-led dating show. The social media backlash. If ratings didn't hurt enough, social media delivered the coup de grace. Memes and snarky comments about the show's slow pacing, awkward moments, and uneven casting flooded Twitter and Instagram. Some fans appreciated the attempt to break traditional molds, but the negative chatter dominated the conversation. Hashtags like "Golden Fail" and "Mel Deserves Better" trended intermittently, creating a perception problem that numbers alone could not fix. Industry insiders admitted that the social media backlash influenced the public's perception more than the actual content of the show. ABC's dilemma. Networks rarely cancel shows after one season unless the performance is truly catastrophic. However, ABC's dilemma was unique. The Bachelor brand is one of the network's crown jewels, and any misstep has long-term implications. Canceling Golden Bachelor might risk preventing further damage to the franchise's reputation, but it also risks alienating the loyal viewers who were intrigued by the experiment. On the other hand, continuing the show without significant changes could lead to even lower ratings and negative publicity. According to insiders, the debate at ABC was intense. Some executives pushed for a creative overhaul, while others argued that a second season might be doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Contestants speak out. Several contestants took to interviews to discuss their experiences. Cindy, a 68-year-old retired teacher, expressed gratitude for the opportunity, but acknowledged the show's challenges. "It was wonderful to spend time with Mel, but we all knew we were part of an experiment," she said. Another contestant, Richard, hinted at the show's uneven production. "It felt like everyone was scrambling, and sometimes we didn't know what the focus was supposed to be. Was it love? Was it ratings? Sometimes it felt like both." These candid statements fueled speculation that even those involved recognized the show's precarious position. What happens next? As ABC weighs its options, insiders suggest a few possible paths. Cancellation. The simplest option, ending Golden Bachelor after one season to protect the broader Bachelor brand. Reformatting. Reworking the show with new challenges, more dynamic editing, or different casting to better capture audiences' attention. Platform shift. Moving the show exclusively to streaming, where niche audiences could find it without impacting primetime ratings. Executives have remained tight-lipped, but anonymous sources indicate that the decision is imminent. Industry reactions. Television critics and industry observers have been vocal. One prominent critic remarked, "Golden Bachelor had heart, but it lacked the energy and pacing viewers expect from reality dating shows. It's a noble experiment, but sometimes novelty alone isn't enough to sustain an audience." Others praised ABC for taking risks. "Networks play it safe all the time," noted a former reality producer. "Mel Owens brought charm, wisdom, and authenticity. That counts for something, even if the numbers don't reflect it." The fan perspective. Despite disappointing ratings, Golden Bachelor cultivated a passionate, if small, fan base. Online communities discussed Mel's dates, his thoughtful gestures, and the contestants' personal journeys. "This show is different from the usual Bachelor formula, and I love that. It's slower, but more meaningful," said one fan on a Reddit thread. These fans, though vocal, are not large enough to sway traditional ratings metrics, yet their loyalty hints at a potential path forward if ABC decides to innovate rather than cancel. Mel Owens' legacy. Regardless of the show's fate, Mel Owens' season left an indelible mark. He represented a demographic rarely seen in reality TV and approached the experience with dignity, humor, and genuine care. "Mel showed that love doesn't have an expiration date," one contestant remarked. "Even if the ratings didn't reflect it, he changed lives." Whether ABC capitalizes on that legacy or quietly retires the experiment remains to be seen. Conclusion. A crossroads for ABC. Golden Bachelor may not have been the ratings juggernaut ABC hoped for, but it sparked conversations about aging, love, and representation in media. The network now faces a pivotal decision: abandon the experiment, refine it, or shift its strategy entirely. For fans, contestants, and the franchise itself, the coming months will reveal whether Golden Bachelor is a cautionary tale or a misunderstood gem
the ratings
ahead of
numbers
its time.
painted one picture, the real story of Golden Bachelor unfolded behind the cameras. Producers hoped that the show's unique format would spark interest, but inside the mansion, the energy was complicated. Meet the contenders. From the first episode, it was clear that Mel Owens' charm could only go so far. Contestants varied wildly. There was Cindy, the retired teacher with a love for stargazing; Richard, a widower with a penchant for poetry; Linda, a former ballerina who still moved with grace; and George, an ex-engineer who had never imagined himself on television. Each contestant brought personality, but clashes were inevitable. Cindy and Linda bonded over shared experiences of loss, forming an early alliance. Richard and George, meanwhile, engaged in quiet competition, each trying to capture Mel's attention with humor and intellect. Despite their best efforts, cameras often captured moments that felt awkward or stilted. A quiet dinner conversation could turn into an over-edited montage of silence and forced smiles, magnifying small tensions into dramatic arcs. The dates. More than roses. ABC had promised lavish, creative dates to elevate the show, but execution proved challenging. One particularly memorable evening involved a memory lane date, where Mel and Cindy revisited recreated versions of his favorite past romantic moments. While touching in theory, the sequence on film was painfully slow, with awkward pauses and repetitive shots that frustrated viewers. Another date, a sailing adventure with Linda, showcased Mel's charisma, but also revealed the production's struggle to balance romance with pacing. By the time viewers reached the rose ceremony, many had lost patience, tuning out before the emotional climax. The infamous Fantasy Suite episode, a staple of the franchise, was meant to create buzz, but the slower, more intimate tone of Mel's season made it feel subdued. Social media, expecting scandal or surprise, instead reacted with memes about sleepy romance and gentle gestures. Behind-the-scenes tension. Production staff, caught between narrative expectations and reality, faced immense pressure. Producers reportedly debated adding dramatic twists like surprise eliminations or sudden rivalries, but worried that these might feel forced in the context of senior romance. One crew member described the atmosphere as tense but respectful, noting that while contestants were genuinely interested in Mel, the staff constantly reminded them of the ratings crisis. "It's a strange energy," they admitted. "We're here to create love stories, but we're also acutely aware that numbers might kill the show before it can finish." Mel himself felt the pressure. In interviews, he reflected on the experience with warmth. "I wanted everyone to feel valued and to enjoy the journey. Ratings weren't my focus, but I won't lie, they mattered to the network." Social media storms. While the show struggled on television, online chatter escalated. Fans and critics dissected every moment, from wardrobe choices to conversational pauses. Hashtags like #GoldenBachelorFail, #WhereAreTheRatings, and #MelIsTooSweet dominated Twitter. Some fans expressed frustration at what they perceived as over-editing. "I just want to see real moments, not endless slow-mo of walking on the beach," one viewer wrote. Others highlighted the show's positives. "It's so refreshing to see love at any age," commented another. Despite these pockets of support, the overall tone of online conversation suggested the show was failing to capture mainstream attention. ABC's internal struggle. By mid-season, ABC executives faced a dilemma. Canceling the show mid-run was unthinkable, but the declining viewership was impossible to ignore. One insider shared that there were daily meetings assessing potential interventions, everything from re-editing episodes for streaming release to surprise celebrity appearances. Yet even these ideas were constrained by the format and tone of the show. Unlike younger spin-offs where drama drives engagement, Golden Bachelor's charm lay in quiet authenticity. Efforts to artificially inject conflict risked alienating the remaining loyal viewers. Contestant confessions. During the reunion special, filmed amid speculation about the show's future, contestants spoke openly about their experiences. Cindy admitted, "It was strange being on TV at this age. You hope for connection, but you're also aware that millions are watching, judging every word and gesture." Richard added, "Mel was incredible, but the editing sometimes made it feel like our emotions were secondary to the narrative they wanted." These candid reflections fueled media speculation. If even contestants doubted the show's execution, what chance did ABC have of salvaging it? Ratings versus legacy. Despite disappointing numbers, Golden Bachelor may have left a quiet legacy. Industry observers noted that the show challenged norms, proving that romance doesn't have an age limit. For some viewers, the slower pace and thoughtful conversations were a welcome change from the frenetic energy of typical dating shows. A television analyst commented, "The show didn't explode in ratings, but it started an important conversation about representation, aging, and love that's valuable in its own right." What could be next? Speculation about a potential second season swirled. Would ABC attempt to correct course with new casting, faster pacing, or celebrity guest mentors? Or would Golden Bachelor quietly fade into franchise history, remembered as an ambitious but flawed experiment? For now, the network remained tight-lipped. Executives hinted only that they were exploring all options, leaving fans, critics, and contestants alike in suspense. The human stories behind Golden Bachelor were rich, surprising, and sometimes downright hilarious. Reality TV thrives on drama, but for Mel Owens, the real drama was emotional, heartfelt, and occasionally chaotic in unexpected ways. The most memorable moments. One standout scene occurred during a cooking challenge date. Contestants were asked to prepare Mel's favorite meal, a task that revealed both culinary skills and personal quirks. Linda, the former ballerina, approached it like choreography, moving gracefully but overthinking the steps. Cindy, ever pragmatic, embraced a simple but perfect approach. Richard, a notorious perfectionist, overseasoned everything, resulting in some humorous taste-testing reactions. The cameras captured every smile, misstep, and accidental flower explosion. Behind the scenes, crew members couldn't stop laughing, though they had to maintain professional composure. Mel's reaction, however, stole the show. "I don't care if it's perfect," he told the group. "What matters is that you tried, and that you're here with me." His sincerity softened every awkward moment, reminding everyone why the show existed in the first place, for love and connection, not ratings.
The rose ceremonies that broke hearts. Rose ceremonies on Golden Bachelor were emotionally charged, sometimes more than on any other franchise spin-off. The mix of seasoned life experience, lingering past heartbreak, and genuine hope created scenes that tugged at the audience's heartstrings, if they stayed tuned long enough to see them. In one tense ceremony, George, a reserved engineer, prepared to leave. Mel, ever compassionate, spoke privately with him. "You've been wonderful," Mel said, "but sometimes love isn't about winning, it's about learning and growing." The cameras captured George's emotional nod, a moment of quiet dignity rarely seen in traditional reality TV drama. Social media fans who watched clips shared a mix of admiration and envy. While the show didn't trend for scandal, these poignant moments created a smaller, devoted fan base who appreciated authenticity over sensationalism. Behind the cameras, production drama. Even as Mel's season emphasized sincerity, production itself was not without drama. Producers debated constantly over how to frame scenes. Should they highlight awkward pauses for tension? Should humor be emphasized over emotion? Could subtle conflicts between contestants be amplified for ratings? At one meeting, an executive suggested introducing surprise twists mid-season, like secret dates or unplanned eliminations. "We need spikes in engagement," they argued. Another producer countered, "If we do that, it'll feel fake. This show's charm is honesty." The tension between authenticity and entertainment value became the silent battle defining the season. Crew members sometimes joked that the show was a love story with spreadsheets attached, referencing the endless calculations of ratings, audience sentiment, and social media analytics. Mel's philosophy on love. Amid the chaos, Mel's reflections offered a poignant counterpoint. In a rare interview segment filmed for the reunion, he said, "Love isn't a performance. It doesn't come with roses or ratings. What matters is connection, honesty, and showing up for people. I hope viewers take that away more than anything else." This philosophy resonated with many older viewers who finally saw themselves represented on a major network show. While young viewers scrolled past, those who engaged deeply were profoundly moved. Unexpected alliances. The contestants themselves formed bonds outside of competition. Cindy and Linda became fast friends, offering each other emotional support in the high-pressure environment. Richard, initially quiet and reserved, opened up about past heartbreaks, finding unexpected camaraderie with George, who shared similar experiences of loss and renewal. These alliances provided unplanned storylines that, ironically, might have been more engaging than the show's produced drama. Fans commenting on Reddit and Instagram noted the sincerity of these relationships, often expressing surprise that reality TV could capture genuine human connection. Ratings crunch and executive panic. Despite these touching moments, the numbers remained a source of concern. By mid-season, ABC executives convened daily review meetings. Analysts projected that if the decline continued, Golden Bachelor could become the lowest-rated show in the franchise's history. One leaked memo suggested drastic measures, reshooting key scenes, inserting narration to enhance drama, and even shortening episodes to maintain viewer attention. While these tactics might have worked for younger, more conventional reality shows, producers worried about alienating the older contestants and Mel himself. The network faced a dilemma: push for ratings at the cost of authenticity, or preserve the show's integrity and risk failure. Fan reactions. Love versus ratings. Even as ratings faltered, a core group of fans rallied. Dedicated social media communities praised the show's slower pace, meaningful conversations, and respectful approach to love among older adults. Hashtags like Mel Matters and hashtag Golden Love emerged as counterpoints to the negative chatter, offering hope that the show could survive in some form, perhaps on a niche streaming platform. Still, mainstream audiences largely ignored these efforts. Memes dominated the conversation, focusing on awkward silences, slow pacing, or minor mishaps. The contrast between passionate fans and indifferent viewers highlighted the precarious position ABC faced. Did the network cater to mass appeal or a devoted minority? The season finale brought all these elements together. Mel faced a heart-wrenching decision: whom to choose, and whom to send home. The contestants' vulnerabilities were laid bare. Tears, laughter, and quiet moments of reflection intermingled with camera angles carefully designed to maximize emotional impact. Cindy, George, and Richard each experienced their own private conversations with Mel. Every word, gesture, and pause was scrutinized by both cameras and fans alike. The finale, while subdued compared to other Bachelor spin-offs, was deeply touching, emphasizing the humanity of everyone involved. Mel's choice, though ultimately controversial among some viewers, underscored his philosophy. Love isn't a spectacle, it's about connection.